¿Qué pasó, mi gente? It's Mark Tip 25 otra vez. Okay, so today I had a little time to kill, so I'm just gonna make this video. I was watching some YouTube videos yesterday about, unpopular opinions on Reddit and all this stuff, because people say a lot of crazy shit on Reddit. Some funny, some just ridiculous. But yeah, there's one video that had two sides to one coin, and that's about, sports athletes and just what they contribute, or should we even admire them? Should we even look up to them as role models? And then also on the other flip side, and I didn't want to make a video about this because of the recent passing of Kobe, but I feel it needs to be addressed because I just feel the opinion on that particular deal was not very fair. Like, what it stated was that Kobe's life was just as important, if not more, than those other people that died in that crash. Which I know, that's very controversial, and I'll explain my view in a moment. But yeah, let me just kind of explain, with the whole situation on that. Like, we have a lot of people nowadays, especially older folks, that, why should we have our youth look up to these athletes? All they do is dribble a ball, throw around a ball, They don't contribute anything to society other than just our entertainment. They, they're bad role models because they get in trouble with a lot of shit and they get away with it a lot of the times. And, also that they get paid way more than our people in the military and other professions that are genuinely important. To a certain extent, I do agree. I do agree in the fact that these athletes are paid a hell of a lot of money, but that's because these organizations are private. They're private organizations. They're privately owned. So why can't they pay their workers what they want to pay them? So I don't know. That's just how it is. I understand it's really ridiculous. I'm in total agreement with how much they're getting paid is pretty ridiculous compared to most professions like doctors and lawyers. But then that's really a societal issue as far as doctors being paid more, teachers being paid more. It's mainly the way the government sets that shit up. So that's really not the players' fault. So you can't blame them for that. And the owners too. They pay them what they want and what they're willing to give. As far as, but see, I always hear this a lot from like older people that talk about, the military. Oh, our veterans are not getting, and see, I'm sorry. And I'm going to have to address this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. But there is so much veteran aid out there. There's so much out there, but nobody's really utilizing it. These guys have the freaking GI Bill. They get great education after the fact. So to make it seem as if the veterans don't get anything or not paid well is not really true. So let's put that out of the way, first of all. And then, and to be honest, we overhype our military and compared to most. So to say that we don't respect them at all is pretty asinine, in all honesty. It's asinine. But again, to say that athletes do not contribute anything to society, and that's the thing. It's like there's such a vendetta on the entertainment industry, whether it be sports, music, art, theater, doesn't matter. People don't think it contributes anything to society. And I don't understand that. Like, do you not like entertainment? Do you not like having fun? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of boring existence do you live where you don't admire or at least appreciate stuff like that? So that's just how I see that. And it's like, to say that they don't contribute is a lie too, because a lot of these athletes, they contribute so much to their communities, whether it be through donation. They even like have, initiatives where they go help build houses and other items in the community. LeBron James recently had a school built. He gives back to education. A lot of these athletes give scholarships out. So to make it seem as if they don't contribute anything, especially some of their wealth to go towards initiatives like this, you're lying to yourself if you don't think they don't contribute anything. And then again with Kobe Bryant, the whole situation with him, He inspired a generation of players. You know, if it wasn't for Kobe's impact, I don't think there would be the same like type of players in today's league. You know, and granted, you can all say, well, Kobe is just a copy of Jordan, so that's not a fair assessment. Be that as it may, Kobe was still a very impactful individual. You know, I mean, and to make it seem as if he was like not even worth anything, I mean, this guy spoke many different languages too. He was very intelligent. You know, we always have this stigma against athletes that they're all stupid or they're ignorant, and that's not fair. Because there are very smart individuals within sports, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, you name it. A lot of very intelligent individuals. But that's just the thing. There's just a huge stigma that these are just overpaid, dumb people. But anyhow, that's one side of it. I agree to certain extents of it, but I don't agree with it entirely. Now, on the other side, another individual was talking about, you know, how, you know, in that crash, you know, Kobe and his daughter, and it's very sad, and it still kind of shocks me that it occurred. But then you have all the other families that, you know, died in that crash. And I paid my respects to them too. You know, I made a post and I listed them out. And it's very disconcerting that happened to that many people. But this one guy was like, some lives are important than others. And I guess I can see where he's coming from because, again, the impact that he had on the world and his community, I get that. But to make it seem as if his life is more important than the other people that died in that crash it's a pretty dick thing to say. I'm sorry, that's not right. Because that baseball coach, man, that Alto Belli, he was impactful to his college, okay? He was impactful to that community, to his friends and his family. His life was important to them. Just because it didn't spread a wide range of the world doesn't mean his life is any less important. And I bet you I'm going to have some freaking nihilists in the comments dictating otherwise. But you know what? No. I admired Kobe's talent and his game. I wasn't a huge fan of him as a person at times, but you know what? He's still a human being. And those people that died in that crash were human beings with families and aspirations and dreams. So to say that Kobe's life was more important than theirs is utter nonsense. You know? And that's why there's such a stigma against these athletes to begin with, because we put a lot of the athletes on a pedestal. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is there needs to be a happy medium in how we deal with athletes and all that stuff. We must understand they are still human beings. And yeah, they are not all great. Not all of them are great role models. A lot of them, you know, get involved with drugs, violence, and all this other stuff. And I get that. But you know what? They're still human beings. And a lot of them still do contribute to the community like other people that have the ability to do so. What I'm trying to say is we shouldn't overly praise them. We shouldn't put them entirely on a pedestal. But we shouldn't demean them either. We shouldn't make them like any less than the hardworking people, because they are people too. We are all people. We all have our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations. And to make it seem as if playing a sport is easy, all they do is put a ball in a hoop or they throw a ball around, it takes skill. It takes practice. It takes conditioning. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And on the flip side, being a doctor is not easy. And you know me, I'm a musician. Learning music and singing is not as easy as most people make it seem. It takes hard work. You know, I don't claim to be the best performer in the world or singer in the world, because I always can improve. But to make it seem as if my line of work is nothing, it's insignificant, is quite rude, okay? We all have our dreams, we all have our aspirations, we're all people. So the older generation needs to stop talking shit on these athletes. And the people that, you know, praise these athletes need to stop making them more than just being people. Because we're all people. That's just what my thoughts are all on this. I mean, it's a rant, but I just felt it had to be addressed because I kept seeing a lot of stuff on that. But anyhow, let me know what you think in the comment section. Suscríbete a mi canal y hasta el próximo, mi gente. Adiós.